Friday the 30th of January 2025. There was a 10-minute wait for the train this morning, which was very annoying, but also nice because I got to see Mr. Sufyan, which was also very surprising because I know he takes the district line. When I was on the train, I read The Body Keeps the Score. I'm getting to the very end of this book now. This book is always very nice to read, especially on the train, just because I feel like every time I read it, I learn something new. So in this section that I was reading, it was discussing how the use of like urban improv, theatre classes, drama class really help like traumatize kids due to the kind of like acting element in it. I got to Ground Cafe a little bit late today at around 9:30 a.m. rather than 9 because of that 10-minute delay on the train. I got coffee. It was annoying because I didn't get much time at all to do any work. So when I went into my lecture theatre at 10, I was actually just going to zone out and do a little bit of my work. But when I went in, the guy started talking and he was talking about groups, and I knew groups was a good thing, and the way he was talking about it, like it sounded like the start of something new. So I thought it'd be a good idea to listen. This is another new module I'm doing this semester. It's called Quantum Mechanics and Symmetries. And now, when I told you guys about Monday's lecturer and how he was really good, guys, this was nothing compared to this guy. Like Monday's lecturer had energy, but this guy had energy and aura, bro. Like he was so cool, man. He was like all the latecomers, he was like saying good morning to, and then like all the people who asked questions, he was like, what's your name? Like, and he was so good. Like there was never a dull moment in his class, and he was just zooming through the content, and he was just very good at explaining it, and he just had this like energy, man. He just had this aura. I was actually like thinking of like making like a Henry Cavill joke about this guy, you know.
Cavill, and I play
Henry Cavill. My God, man. I don't even know what my name is.
But I didn't do that because I've now come to know that like that part of me that wants to do that is the kind of like part of me that thinks I'm kind of like responsible for people, and who also thinks it's his job to kind of like bring people together and to make people familiar with each other. With, you know, like in our physics class, I feel like a lot of people aren't very familiar with each other, maybe within their own groups, but not as a collective, not as a whole. So I always think it's my job, and that type of joke in that type of environment, a lot of the times it invites a lot of like disrespect. So it's a good thing I didn't do it, and also because I feel like sometimes as well, the reason why I think I used to do that in the past is because I would feel that I would have to do something big and important to kind of like be seen, and you know, to kind of like make friends. And I feel like that was maybe like the only way people would care in some kind of way. In some kind of way I would be scared, because then I'd feel like me coming across that person is such a rare occurrence that I better do something now, right here and right now, rather than miss this opportunity and like I'll never get it again. But I know now that that's not true, that, you know, if I don't make friends with like X group of people, I'll make friends with Y group of people, and I'm confident. Just really awesome. At the end of this lecture, the PhD guy, he goes on Costas were getting kicked out because like someone had come in to use the lecture theatre. And when he said Costas, I was like, okay, now this makes sense. This is Costas, the guy everyone's talking about. Because all the time people came up to me and they was like, have you met Costas? Have you met Costas? He's on the 6th floor, blah, blah, blah. He's really good, he's really good. And I was like, okay, now I get it. I get it now. After that, I headed into the library where I saw Sab. He was telling me that there's a word for the winter sky. The sun shining in the winter sky. This kind of like clear weather that you kind of see around me, and that was also present on the day that I'm filming. And we was discussing it because I was like, I'm always going on about this weather. Even if you look at some of my previous videos, like there's a specific word for it, which was really nice. Like even just with Sab, like, you know, like sometimes when I see people, I kind of like introduce myself in like this big kind of like eccentric way, and I kind of do that. I feel that because, you know, as for the reasons I just said, you know, I feel like I would have to do that to kind of like, you know, for me to be cared about. You know, it's just, I'm with this new identity that I have, that I already am someone who is cared about, because I am in some way. I don't have to do that. So like when I went up to Sab and when I went up to a few other people today, I didn't do anything crazy like that. I didn't like boo and boom, tap them on the shoulders. I didn't like do something to invoke like a big reaction out of them. It's just like hi, because I feel like I would have to invoke a big kind of like reaction out of someone to like when I was speaking to them, but like I don't have to do that at all. Anyway, I went into the library because I wanted to do some of the work that I usually do in the morning, and I felt like this week I wasn't satisfied with the feeling of doing work in the morning. Like it didn't give me that feeling, that kind of like zeal, that kind of like extra energy, because like it's something I really enjoy doing it. It's like the kind of feeling you get after you come from the gym, when you're new to the gym. So I was kind of like chasing that feeling, if you like. So I went, and I think maybe because there was no distraction, writing, and I finally got that feeling that I was kind of chasing like in the morning, but I kind of like never got. So it's really good. I actually had to stop myself from writing, which was awesome. Like, that's a good thing, because that means like I've been enjoying it, and you know, I've been really feeling it. And what after that, I had some lunch in the physics museum, and then I headed into the gym. Even in gym, right, like I had some conversations with people, and it was just so much better. It was just so much more flowing. I think to illustrate this point, I feel sometimes I would imagine that if I'm talking to someone, I'd imagine I'm talking to someone, and then I'd imagine someone came in like in that moment and kind of like dapped me up, if that kind of makes sense. Like, I know that sounds really, like, maybe that sounds really silly.
Bro, what's up, fam? You know this.
But like, I'll just kind of like think about that. And the reason why I'd think about that is so that I can show that other person that I'm someone who is kind of like kind and friendly, who gets along with other people. But then, like, going back to what I said on the previous video, I can understand that like I'm already that person. So if someone comes or someone doesn't come, it doesn't matter, because I've always been that person and I'm already that person. And I think that kind of feeling, it kind of like grounds me. It kind of like it puts like a different lens on how I see it, and I feel like I'm using my prefrontal cortex as opposed to like the other parts of my brain. So, you know, it was really good. Didn't get much footage in the gym today, but I did get a special interview from David.
As you can see, sorry, my name's David. I work here at the gym at Q-Motion. I've done all my tasks and stuff for the day. As you can see, the gym is not particularly busy, so shout out to my guy Jericho making this content. You know, pick up the channel and that, follow, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. Yeah, man, get down to the gym if you can. If not, then enjoy your time, whatever you're doing. Have a good day.
He's the most friendliest guy in the gym, so
I try.
he's a nice guy.
He also changes his haircut and his beard, his kind of like beard style, like all the time, and he always looks good no matter like what combination he puts on. So I think now he's got short hair, before he had curly hair, clean shaven beard, whatever. Like, bro, he always looks good. And then after the gym, I went into polity. And polity is basically this society where we talk about politics.
It says, you know, when it distorts the truth and lies, but how can you exactly define a lie? Because there's plenty of imagery saying, well, the sky's pink, and also having a white line. And, you know, again...
Now, one thing just to end this video and to share with you guys, when I was in polity, one of the committee members at the end, she was kind of like summarizing all the points, and she gave me a compliment. And she often gives me compliments, and she gave me a compliment, and she said, you know, I really liked your point, blah, 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 blah. And here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. It's so cold. Here's the thing. When she gave me a compliment, I didn't like throw my hood over my head. I didn't like shell up. I didn't like start shadow boxing. Obviously, the shadow boxing thing is just a joke. Like, obviously, I don't actually start shadow boxing.
Please stop. I can't let you get close.
But like, you just kind of like show up, and the reason why I'll do that is because I feel that like if I win, other people will lose, and I feel like I'm hurting someone by me receiving a compliment. And you know, but this time I didn't like self-deprecate, I didn't like deny the comment, I didn't like do anything like this. I simply just said thank you. So, you know, in case no one ever told you guys, when someone gives you a compliment, you don't have to deny it, you don't have to start hating yourself to kind of like balance it out. You simply just have to say thank you. Sorry, I am so cold right now. I've been here for so long. Yeah, you simply just had to say thank you. And I did just say thank you, because I understand that like, because previously I would have felt that like if I accept this compliment, like I would be upsetting other people, because my feelings, I impose this idea that everyone is depressed onto those other people, and I feel like me getting a compliment, they're losing something, if that makes sense. But I just understand now that like I'm not that horrible person. I'm not a horrible person who wants to take away from some other people. I never have been. So when she gave me the compliment, I just said thank you, you know, which is nice.